In the small village of Ogwe, two boys grew up like brothers. Chinedu and Ebuka were always seen together. From playing under the mango trees to fishing by the river, their friendship was known by everyone in the village. They were born in the same year, lived on the same street, and even went to the same school. People often joked that if you saw one without the other, something was wrong. Chinedu was calm and thoughtful, while Ebuka was bold and full of ideas. They started growing together. Together, they balanced each other well and dreamed of doing big things when they grew up. After finishing secondary school, life became harder. Jobs were few, and their families could not afford further. 5 years later. Education. Chinedu and Ebuka decided to work together. They started a small business selling palm oil and groundnuts in the nearby town market. Every week, they traveled to nearby farms to buy the products and sell them at a profit. The work was not easy, but they trusted each other. They agreed to save all their profits and someday start a big store in the village. Both families supported the idea and prayed for their success. After 1 year, their business began to grow. They were making good money and had saved a lot. One evening, while counting their earnings, Ebuka said, "Chinedu, we should divide this money and build our own houses. I don't want to stay in my father's compound forever." But Chinedu shook his head. "No, my friend. We agreed to first open a shop before doing anything else. Let's stay focused. A big store will bring us more money. Then we can build houses and even buy motorcycles." Ebuka agreed, though he looked a bit unhappy. One day, a rich businessman from the town, Mr. Adewale, came to the market. He noticed how Chinedu and Ebuka treated their customers with respect and sold only good products. He liked their honesty and called them aside. "You boys are hardworking," he said. "I want to help you. I have a store in town that I'm not using. If you can pay a small rent, I'll give it to you for 1 year." The boys were excited. This was the opportunity they had been waiting for. They thanked Mr. Adewale and promised to return with the rent money in 2 weeks. That night, Chinedu and Ebuka sat down and counted their savings. They had just enough to pay the rent and still have some money to buy stock. "This is it, Ebuka," Chinedu said. "This is the beginning of our big dream." But Ebuka looked uneasy. "My uncle in the city also offered me something," he said slowly. "He said he can take me to Lagos to work in his electronics shop. He promised to pay me well." Chinedu was shocked. "But we've come this far together. You want to leave now?" Ebuka looked at the floor. "I don't know. I need to think." 2 days later, Chinedu woke up to find that Ebuka had left the village. He left a short note, "I'm sorry, my brother. I went to Lagos. I need to help my family. I hope you understand. Don't be angry." Chinedu felt like a knife had been pushed into his chest. They had made a deal, saved together, suffered together, and now, just when they were close to success, Ebuka had walked away without even a proper goodbye. Chinedu cried that day, not just because of the money, but because he had lost someone he trusted like a brother. For weeks, Chinedu could not even go to the market. He felt betrayed and alone. But his mother encouraged him. "My son, life goes on," she said. "You still have some money. Use what you have and keep going." Slowly, Chinedu returned to the market, walking alone. Customers missed Ebuka but admired Chinedu for his strength. One day, Mr. Adewale returned. "Where is your friend?" he asked. Chinedu told him everything. Mr. Adewale nodded. "I like your courage. Come to town tomorrow. I will give you the shop. You don't need to pay rent." That was the beginning of a new chapter. Chinedu worked harder than ever. He woke up early, traveled far to buy goods, and made sure his shop always had the best products. People loved buying from him. He smiled more, laughed with customers, and treated everyone with respect. His shop grew fast. After 1 year, he opened a second one. He also built a small but neat house for his mother. Everyone in Ogwe talked about his success. Hard work and honesty never fail, the elders said. But deep inside, Chinedu still thought of Ebuka. 3 years later, Chinedu was a well-known businessman. One afternoon, he was arranging goods in his store when a thin, tired-looking man walked in. It was Ebuka. His clothes were old, and his face had lost its shine. Chinedu stood still, heart pounding. "Chinedu," Ebuka said quietly. "It's me. I came back." Chinedu didn't speak. He didn't know what to say. Ebuka looked around the shop. "You did it. You really did it," he said, with a sad smile. "I made a mistake, my brother. I thought I would find gold in Lagos. But life there was hard. My uncle treated me like a slave. I had nothing. No peace. No joy." Chinedu finally found his voice. "Why didn't you come back earlier? Why didn't you call?" Ebuka looked down. "I was ashamed. I didn't know how to face you. I betrayed you. I broke our promise. I didn't deserve your forgiveness." Silence filled the shop. Then Chinedu said, "You were my brother, Ebuka. I would have shared everything with you. But you chose yourself. You left me in the dark. I worked alone. I cried alone. And now you return." Ebuka's eyes were full of tears. "I understand if you send me away. I just wanted to say sorry. That's all." Chinedu walked to the door and locked it. He turned back and looked at Ebuka. "I will not send you away. But things can't be the same again. I've moved forward, Ebuka. I'm not that boy who waited for you with hope in his heart. I will help you get on your feet, but this time, there will be no deals between us. No promises." Ebuka nodded slowly. "Thank you, Chinedu. That's more than I deserve." Chinedu gave him some money and a small room behind the shop. He also gave him simple tasks to do. He was not unkind, but he kept his distance. As months passed, Ebuka tried hard to prove himself. He came early, cleaned the shop, served customers, and avoided trouble. Slowly, people in the village began to accept him again. But Chinedu never allowed him to handle money or make business decisions. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. Ebuka understood. He never complained. One night, as they closed the shop, he said, "Chinedu, thank you for everything. I may never regain your trust, but I will never forget your kindness." Chinedu nodded. "Let's go home. It's getting late." Years later, Chinedu had many shops and workers. He also started helping young boys in the village who wanted to learn business. He built a training center and gave scholarships. He had become not just a businessman but a leader. Ebuka still worked quietly at the main shop. He lived a simple life and never asked for more than he was given. People still talked about their story. Some said Chinedu should have forgiven him fully, while others said Ebuka was lucky to get a second chance. But only the two of them truly knew the depth of the wound. One day, a young man at the training center asked Chinedu, "Sir, why do you help people when your closest friend once betrayed you?" Chinedu smiled sadly. "Because I know how it feels to be left behind. But I also know how it feels to rise from the pain. Not everyone will betray you. Some will surprise you. And some will remind you of who you used to be." The boy nodded, not fully understanding. But the look in Chinedu's eyes told a story, one of hurt, healing, and quiet strength. In the end, Chinedu and Ebuka never became what they once were. But they learned to live with the past. Ebuka never forgot the trust he broke, and Chinedu never forgot the brother he lost. But life, like a river, moved on. And in the village of Ogwil, their story became a lesson for all, that trust is gold, promises are sacred, and betrayal, though painful, can be survived with courage, grace, and time.